Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting polynomials. So before we get into actually doing that, the first thing I want to review is like terms. So it's going to be super important when we're adding and subtracting these polynomials. So like terms, the definition for that is that it's terms that contain the same variables raised to the same power. So an example of like terms are, for instance, 5x and negative 2x. They have the same variable x, and they're both raised to the first power. Another example would be 3x squared y and 7x squared y. They have the same variables x and y. The x's are both raised to the second power, and the y's are both raised to the first power. This is super important because like terms are the only things that we can combine. So for instance, let's say I had 5y squared and 2x squared. I couldn't combine those to say it's 7x squared y squared or 7x squared or anything like that because they don't have the same variable. It's kind of like you can't add together, let's say I had 3 apples and 5 oranges. I couldn't just add those together and say, okay, that means I have 8 oranges. They're not the same, and that's going to be the same case for these terms. So let's go ahead and practice identifying like terms. I have a whole bunch of terms here, and I want to group the following terms with its like terms. So let's go ahead and start with the first one, 2x. So like term would have the variable x raised to the first power and nothing else. And looking through all of these, I see negative 5x follows that. Okay, let's look for another one. So I have 4a. So there I'm looking for just the variable a. So if you notice 2x and 4a, they weren't like terms because they don't have the same variable. So I see another one that just has an a is the one below it. Okay, let's look for another one. So now I have negative 7xy. So I'm looking for another term that has just xy at the end. So 12x squared y, that doesn't work because that x has a square on it. Xy squared doesn't work. Again, my y should just have a exponent of 1. So the only one that looks just like it is this 11xy. Okay, then I have 12x squared y. So now my x has a square with it, my y doesn't. The one below it doesn't work. It's flip-flopped on which one has the exponent. So I see it's not until the 6x squared. 6x squared y, sorry. Okay, let's go. I see the only other pair I have is this 12ab and 15ab. They both have the variables a and b, and they're both raised to the first power. And I see 8xy squared didn't end up having a pair, and neither did negative x squared.